Hi everyone, welcome to my channel Roots and Voices India. Today we are going to cover two very important topics in SQL. One is like what all sub languages or subset of languages are there in SQL, and the second one is like what all type of data types are there and why data types are so important in SQL. So these are two things we are going to cover today. So let's start. So types of SQL commands. This is nothing but like what all types of sub languages are there in SQL or subset of languages are there in SQL. So basically we are having 5 subsets are there in SQL. One is like data definition language, data manipulation language, data query language, data control language, and transaction control language. These are the 5 type of languages we are having within the SQL language. Okay. So we'll see in depth in the next. So what is data definition language? Commands that define or modify the database schema or structure of database object, we are called it as data definition language. Under data definition language, we are using draw, rename, create, alter, and truncate. Basically, when we are structuring a database, a table or something, at that point we are using data definition language. Then the second one is the data manipulation language. So the commands that manage the data within the database, allowing you to add, modify, or remove records. Okay. So whenever we are trying to make any kind of changes within the table's data, at that time we are using insert, update, or delete command. Insert is nothing but whenever we are ingesting any data to that particular table, we are using insert command. So update is a command when we are trying to make changes to some column values. At that time we are using update command, and delete command also we are using to delete some particular rows from the table. At that time we are using delete command. So in this point we are trying to manipulate the data within a table. For that reason it's called as a data manipulation language. Then third one is the data query language. It's a command we are using to query the database or like to a table. That's called the data query language. So basically select is the data query language. So whenever we are trying to extract any data from a table, we are using data query language. So then fourth one is a data control language, and the fifth one is a data transaction control language. Data control language is nothing but like when we are trying to give access or security or permission, at that time we are using data control language. For that we are using grant and revoke. And the fifth one is the transaction control language. It will always used to ensure the consistency and integrity of the commands, like the transactions. So for that we are using commit, rollback, and save points. Okay, so these are the points we have on the SQL commands or like sub languages. Okay. Next we'll see like what all data types we have in SQL, and what is the data type and why we are using data type. Data type is nothing but like it is an attribute that specify the type of data a column or variable can hold. So when we'll try to ingest any data, so if the data it will go inside, it will always follow the rule for that particular column. Okay. So if we are using integer data type for a particular column, the data which we are entering into that particular table, it should have integer type data. If you try to ingest character type data for that particular column, then it will throw error, and it will always leave the maintain the data integrity. It will always try to store correct data within a table. And there is another factor, storage efficiency. So it will as all the correct data it is entering into that particular table, and as it is a integer data and we are putting integer data into that particular table, that means like it will always have the storage efficiency. Then performance, as all the correct data entering into that particular table, that means like whenever we'll try to query the table, it will always give us the faster result. So it will always have a good performance when we'll maintain the correct data type in a table. So for that reason, data type is like very much important in SQL. Then data types in SQL. Okay. Then what all data types are there in SQL? Then numeric data type is there. Then string and character data types are there, and date and time data types are there. Then binary data types are there, and all other data types are there. So it is like not specific like these are the type of this is the number of data types we are having in SQL. but there are a lot of data types are there. Okay. So in the numeric data type, we have a lot of other data types. Under numeric data type, we have integer data type, we have decimal data type, floating point types, then bit or boolean types. So in integer types, we have a lot of data types. For an example, integer, small int, big int, then tiny int. These kind of things are there. It will always give the whole numbers. In decimal time, it will always give the decimal numbers. So when we'll try to keep any decimal numbers in a table, in a column, and that time we should go with decimal type. Same goes for the floating points. It will have its other specification. It is always give the approximate numeric value. Okay. So at that time we are using a float, real, double precision. These kind of data types we will use. Then bit and boolean, it will always give like true and false, or sometimes we are maintaining it as 0 and 1. Then type of then in the string and character data type. So we are having fixed length or variable length or large text. So and under fixed variable length we have varchar, nchar. So or like for these are the data types we are having. And then fixed length we have character, nchar or unicode. So going forward also we'll check what in depth for this each and every data types. And date and time. So we have date, time, then timestamp, date and timestamp. These are the data types we are having in the date and time data type. And then by binary data type, it will always like storing the binary data like image, audio files, or other large objects. And other specific data types, special data types like we are using the XML, JSON. These are the data types we will store in the other data types. So these are the kind of data types we have in SQL. Going forward, we'll check in depth for each and every data types, and we'll do practical on all those things. For an example, if we are taking integer types for these whole numbers, we'll check like if we'll go with int, then what is the result we are getting. So similarly, if we are going with the small int, what is the result we are getting. In this way, we'll check and we'll do practical for each and every point, and we'll cover all the points that we have discussed today. That's all for today's session. And in next video, we'll discuss numeric data types. What are numeric data types we have? Thank you for watching. Please subscribe the channel, share the video, and like the video. Thank you.